Animal Farm. The great animal revolution in a quiet countryside. There stood a farm called Manor Farm, run by a grumpy farmer named Mr. Jones. He was always too busy drinking and not paying attention to his animals. They worked hard every day, plowing fields and taking care of crops, but all they got in return were scraps of food and endless chores. The animals were tired, but they didn't know what to do, until one day, something extraordinary happened. Late one evening, as the animals were finishing their chores, an old pig named Old Major called a secret meeting. The animals gathered in the barn, curious about what he had to say. "My friends," Old Major began, his voice full of wisdom, "I've had a dream. A dream where we animals are free from the cruelty of humans. Humans take all the food and make us work day and night. It's time for a change." The animals listened, wide-eyed. "Imagine," Old Major continued, "a farm where animals rule. No more whips, no more cold, hard labor, and no more hunger. We'll run the farm ourselves, and we'll share everything equally." The animals cheered, excited about the idea of a revolution. Old Major shared his secret plan. They would overthrow the humans and take control of the farm. The animals agreed to meet again soon to make a plan. A few nights later, the rebellion came. Mr. Jones was passed out drunk, and his workers were asleep. The animals saw their chance. With a loud roar from the horses and a determined neigh from the cows, the animals stormed the house and chased the humans off the farm. They were free. Free at last. The animals decided to rename the farm, Animal Farm, as a symbol of their new rule. They worked together to rebuild the farm, and things were going well. The pigs, who were the smartest of all the animals, started to lead. Among the pigs were two very important characters, Napoleon and Snowball. Napoleon was a large, burly pig with big ideas. Snowball, on the other hand, was clever and quick, always coming up with exciting plans. Together, they led the animals in running the farm. "We must work together," said Snowball, "so that we can harvest more food and build a windmill to make electricity." The animals cheered at the thought of progress. But Napoleon had a different idea. "We need to focus on getting more food first," he said gruffly. "The windmill can wait." Despite their differences, the animals continued working hard. The pigs made a list of rules, which they called the 7 Commandments, to guide everyone's behavior. One of the most important rules was that all animals are equal. The animals worked day and night, and for a while, things were good. They harvested crops, took care of the animals, and worked on the windmill. But as time went on, things began to change. Snowball had big dreams of building the windmill to make life easier for everyone, but Napoleon didn't like Snowball's ideas. One day, when Snowball was explaining his plan, Napoleon called in his secret weapon, a pack of fierce, large dogs. The dogs attacked Snowball, chasing him off the farm and into the woods. "Snowball is a traitor," Napoleon shouted, "we'll build the windmill my way." From that moment on, Napoleon ruled the farm with an iron hoof. The pigs began to live in the farmhouse, eating from fine dishes, while the other animals worked harder and harder. Napoleon made sure everyone knew that the pigs were in charge. But things were starting to get tricky. As time went on, the pigs started to change. They didn't just enjoy the best food. They started walking on 2 legs like humans, wearing clothes, and even drinking alcohol. The animals couldn't believe their eyes. The pigs were becoming just like the humans they had overthrown. One day, the animals gathered in the yard, looking up at the farmhouse. They saw the pigs dining with some human neighbors, shaking hands and laughing. The sheep were outside bleating the famous line, 4 legs good, 2 legs better. The other animals were confused. They remembered the old days when they had fought for equality, when they dreamed of a farm where they were all treated the same. But now, it was clear. The pigs were in charge, and they were no better than the humans. The animals looked at each other in disbelief. "What happened?" said Boxer, the hard-working horse. "We were promised a better life." The animals looked up at the pigs, now walking proudly on 2 legs, wearing hats, and drinking wine. The animals had to admit it, they had been fooled. The pigs were just like the humans they had overthrown. The animals couldn't even tell the difference between the pigs and the humans anymore. The motto of Animal Farm, "All animals are equal," had been twisted beyond recognition. The pigs were no longer the simple animals they used to be. They were now just as cruel and selfish as the humans who had once ruled. But even in their confusion, the animals learned an important lesson. Power, once gained, can change even the best of us. And sometimes, the fight for equality can get lost in the process. The end. This version keeps the spirit of Animal Farm but presents it in a lighter, cartoonish way. It's still about the dangers of power, leadership, and inequality, but with a bit of whimsy to make it more approachable.